Hello, my name is Tim Huckabee, and welcome to the User Community Virtual Series. I'm happy today because my buddy Bill Reiss is here.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming. Bill, you're from AgileThought, and today you're going to show us something a little mysterious to me. You're going to show us and tell us about the integration of XNA and Silverlight in a Windows Phone app. And this is a new feature to Mango, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And this is something that the community was asking for since the first release of the Windows Phone tools.
Okay, so help a brother out. Why would you do this? Why would you have Silverlight and XNA in the same app?
Why not, right? But really the reason is that there's certain things that Silverlight's very good at, and then there's certain things
Developer
that XNA
productivity being one of them.
And certain things that XNA is very good at. So
vector-based graphics being
absolutely. So high-performance graphics in XNA for game development is one big case for it. Another case would be if you have an application. There was a sample where they had an application that it was for an airline that was all in Silverlight, but then there was a part where they had the seat assignments were done and they showed you a 3D view of the plane of the seats. And that was done using XNA embedded inside Silverlight in a Windows Phone app. So that's one reason you would go ahead and do that. You'd also, there's reasons why you wouldn't do it all in XNA though too, because you wouldn't want to have to write all the other framing and all the other stuff around it in XNA and just let it do what it's good at, which is 3D graphics or 2D graphics, high performance things, and doing games and other types of graphic intensive applications.
All right, I get it. All the developer productivity of Silverlight, and when you need to lean on something 3D or graphics intensive, the XNA thing. And I understand Mango has made that relatively easy to do. So why don't you show us?
Yeah, we'll get right into the demo. In the new tool set, they've added a new project template, and what you'll look for is Windows Phone 3D graphic application.
Okay.
So, and this is under the Silverlight for Windows Phone section. So we'll go in and we'll say OK. And now at this point, I'll go ahead and just run it first and we can see what this looks like.
The default template.
Yeah, so this is what gets generated. And so we'll go ahead and run this and we'll see what they give you out of the box. And there's two things that they show that they are providing sample code for. One is the fact that only one of your pages may have XNA on it, and then other pages may be all Silverlight. So this is an all Silverlight page. And then when we click the play button here, it goes to an XNA page. And so this is actually entirely rendered with XNA. And then if we go ahead and we hit the back button, then we're back to our Silverlight page.
Okay, so in the default template, they give you enough source code to get you started. So
enough to be dangerous. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's take a look at some of the code in here. So first, the projects are set up, and this is what generates for you. So graphics app 2 up here, I just picked the default name. That's the Silverlight project.
Okay.
That just like any other Silverlight project, it has some references to some interesting assemblies in here that have to do with XNA framework game and all these sort of framework assemblies from XNA. So we're really running XNA inside Silverlight here.
Right.
It's not emulating it. It's actually XNA is taking over when that screen loads. Then you see this one here with a little triangle next to it. That's because this is actually an XNA assembly that is being brought in, and that's down here. So this is an XNA assembly that's getting included inside the Silverlight project, and that's why it has that little warning about it. But what this library is for is really to help us with this guy, and this is the content project. So this is where you put all your assets. This is things like images, sound effects, 3D models, that sort of thing. They would all go in here. So at this point, we just have a red rec JPEG. So there's just a bitmap in here, and that's the thing that's bouncing around.
Right.
Yeah. And that, in conjunction with this library project, brings those files into the ZAP file. So that's how this library, this graphics app library project actually is the thing that helps XNA get those files into the ZAP file, because Silverlight doesn't know about these content projects.
Right.
So that's why there's this extra project in there.
And in the source for the XNA, there's some type of physics engine that moves the red triangle around.
Yeah, it's real basic, and we can look at that code. But let's take a look at how exactly it works when there's a couple important things here. First of all, if we go to app.xaml, and app.xaml is the place where you put things like things that are going to survive for the lifetime of the application and that sort of thing. So in here, we have a little thing that it added called the Shared Graphics Device Manager. And that is what does the magic with switching between Silverlight and XNA.
Okay.
And if we go to our game page here, then we'll see there's a little bit of extra code in the navigated event on navigated 2. And in here, it does a set sharing mode to true. And this tells XNA to take over.
Okay.
So at that point, Silverlight's not doing the rendering at all. It's all XNA doing it. And then a sprite batch is just a class that's built into XNA to draw 2D graphics. It helps to, instead of doing everything with the low-level 3D APIs, you can use this instead, so it makes it a lot easier.
Okay.
And then we load the content. And then, you know, this code, if you go and download the tools and install it, you can see this code yourself. So I won't go into too much depth on it, but here's what you were talking about with, we have this update method that is where it's updating the position of that little box. And this is the physics engine you were talking
Where
about.
you got to track where it is and where it's going.
Right. So it's just doing some checks as to is it off the end of the screen and should it bounce back the other way, that sort of thing. And then this position is set, and then that value is used in this draw method here. So it just clears the screen, starts the sprite batch, and then draws, and that's it. So this is all XNA at that point. So any book on XNA, any tutorials on XNA at that point, once you get through the wiring up of how this all hangs together,
which
once
is done for you.
Yeah. Then at that point, then you could just reference any of the great XNA tutorials that are out there to help you get the rest of the way to where you need to be.
Outstanding. Thanks for showing us how easy it is to get rolling on this.
Oh, you're
really
welcome.
appreciate your time today. Thank you, Bill. And thank you guys for watching.